Well, Snow, the Reality Redemption Bowl just wrapped up.
And my team won.
Oh, the 49ers beat the
Shout
Patriots.
out to the 49ers. The 49ers really needed this win, though. At least they got a couple of their players back from injury.
Yeah.
We still don't have McCaffrey, though. I'm
Truth be
hoping
told,
for his return.
Truth be told, I didn't expect much out of my team this year.
Yeah, I didn't either. No offense, but yeah.
Well, we all go through a downturn. And contrary to popular belief, I don't jump ship just because my team is doing bad.
Right.
We've
Who
had a
does?
few downs.
Who does, though? I liked the 49ers when they were sucking balls for a few years there,
Yeah, if you're a fan. And believe me, I had many years of the Patriots sucking before Belichick and Brady came along.
Oh, yeah, like the whole 80s, right?
Yeah,
the whole entire decade.
We were the worst team in the league.
I think the whole 80s and the whole 90s, if I'm not mistaken.
So
y'all didn't get Tom Brady until, like, the 2000s, right?
2000 is when he was drafted.
Yeah.
We were good for a couple years before that when Bill Parcells was coach and we had Drew Bledsoe. We were good but we weren't what they became.
Yeah, I know. Just ask Drew Bledsoe.
But, it'll take a few years. And we'll be back.
Yeah.
So, I guess we should start off just thoughts out to the people affected by Hurricane Helene.
Hurricane Helene. Helene.
Yeah. Especially in Asheville, North Carolina, where the flooding is devastating.
I know. It's almost like I'm starting to think that I'm cursing places. It's like I plan trips, like I'll look in advance on places I want to go, and then they get nailed with a hurricane. I need to quit doing this.
Right, because Asheville was like I really
wanted to go there.
A really liberal blue spot in a sea of red.
Well, yeah, and I wanted to go. Well, I was like, so North Carolina is still on my list of states to visit because I don't really consider it a visit if I've flown into their airport. Like, that doesn't count, just getting a connecting flight. Because I have flown into the Raleigh airport. But I was trying to plan a trip to go, to Georgia and then drive up through North Carolina. I mean, I can skip South Carolina because I've been to Myrtle Beach. But I was going to go up into North Carolina and I really wanted to go to Asheville because I've always wanted to go there.
Yeah.
I'm very sad
and
that
it's not just Asheville.
Wiped out.
You have, everywhere from the panhandle of Florida up through Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, where this storm just wreaked havoc.
Yeah, you feel bad for everyone, all the areas. You don't want to see anybody fucked up from a massive weather storm,
Yeah, and I was watching DeSantis the day it was coming in, and DeSantis was just like, well, if you feel like it, you still have time to leave. Still have time to get out. Even though there was a mandatory evacuation, he wasn't saying, hey, get out. This is serious.
Like the responsible thing that a governor would do.
Yeah.
But you had mayors saying leave. And you had a sheriff saying, if you don't leave, at least have the decency to, with a Sharpie, write on your body your name and your date of birth. And I think it was contact information for your loved ones. So that when we at least find your dead body, we can contact your loved ones and let them know what happened to you.
Yeah, I mean...
Let them know who you are.
And that's different than what happened in North Carolina, because North Carolina just happened, the floods came in from nowhere. Because it was in the mountain towns and all the runoff came down into the town. They had 3 months of rain in 48 hours.
Right. But, I mean... Yeah, they didn't have as much of a warning, but that all the more goes to show that Florida, you had warning. You were told to fucking leave.
Days.
Right. But then your asinine fucking governor was like, well, if you feel like you want to wear a mask, go ahead and do it. But like, I don't recommend it for myself, and like, I'm not going to do anything about it. So what I'm kind of telling you is I don't think that you should. So, but he should just stand up there and say, I don't really care what happens to you. It's all on you. Your body, your choice.
Personal freedom.
That's what he should say.
Personal freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. So, anyway, thoughts to all those people affected by that. I wonder if when they get their power back on, if they're going to see the commercial that we just saw that played during the Redemption Bowl about Kamala Harris supports transgender surgery for
inmates.
Right.
Right.
How big of a problem is this?
Well, we all were fans of Orange is the New Black, right?
Right.
So, in the show Orange is the New Black, it was set in prison, and they had one inmate who was transgender that was dealing with transgender issues. One out of the entire prison population. So, if we look at the entire prisoner population across the world.
Well, we're talking the United States because it's the United States issue.
I mean, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. I said world.
Even though we have the highest incarceration, I think we have more incarcerations in the United States than we do.
Okay, no, you caught me. I misspoke. I meant to say in the entire United States. I said world. I meant United States. Yeah. Sometimes we're so brainwashed here in the United States. We think that we are the world. Yeah. We are the world.
But you're right. We are. We do have the most incarcerated people in the world.
Okay.
In the United States.
So yeah. Okay. One out of every prison, though. Let's go off of what the show teaches us. Okay, they're in prison. There's one transgender prisoner. So if you went ahead and said, okay, I looked it up, and there's as of 2021, these, how statistics take a while to come out. I don't know why they don't have anything beyond 2021 though. When you look it up, when it's now 2024, you would think they would at least have the stats from 22 or maybe even 23, since it's all the way at the end of 2024 right now. Anyways, it's neither here nor there. When you look it up, the prison population of 2021 in the United States alone, not the world, it was 1.20 million.
1.2 million incarcerated people.
All right. So then I looked up how many prisons there are in the United States. And that gets a little more trickier, because
you have federal prisons, state prisons, and private prisons.
Right. So it said for state prisons, there's 1,566 state prisons.
Okay.
And then there's 98 federal prisons, which brings the number. So the total of those two is 1,664.
Okay.
And
let's just.
And then you have numerous, and it doesn't give the number. It just says then you have numerous other correctional facilities.
Let's call it 1,000.
Okay.
So 2,600 prisons in the United States, give or take.
Fuck it. Let's bump it up to 2,000 since it's already at the 16.
Okay,
let's go 2,000.
Okay.
Just to be for sake, because we don't want to bring it down, right? We want to try to view these numbers. I'm confident in that the number will be so low anyways. So let's bump it up to the 2,000.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're up to 3,600.
2,000.
2,000. Okay. How many privately owned prisons?
No, I'm saying 2,000 for the total number of incarcerated facilities.
Okay, 2,000.
Since they're saying federal plus state is 1,664, and then numerous other correctional facilities.
Okay,
Let's just round the whole entire number up to 2,000.
Okay, 2,000.
Total.
2,000
For
total.
federal, state, and numerous others.
And if there's one transgender person in every
single
prison,
one of those, yes.
Okay, which is probably highly unlikely.
But let's say for the sake of argument, each one of them has a transgender person.
So that's 2,000 people.
Right.
In a country of 350 million.
And a prison population of 1.20 million, you have 2,000 transgender.
That actually makes sense if you go on how many transgender people they are based on population. So that number's probably pretty close.
Okay, so then what percentage is 2,000 of 1.20 million?
I don't know. I can't do math.
But you can do it with a calculator, right? Like, how do you figure that out?
Yeah, hold on. Through the magic of editing, it is 0.016.
So not even 1%?
0.016.
So not even a fourth of a percent?
Yes.
Wouldn't a fourth of a percent be like 0.25?
Correct.
Okay, so the percentage, well, we already all know that the percentage of transgender people in the entire population is something like less than 1% already, right?
Yeah.
But of course, you wouldn't know that if you listen to mainstream conservative media, right?
So what I'm saying is you come out of this, once your power gets back on in Florida or Georgia or wherever, and you charge up your phone and stuff like that, and all your belongings have been washed away, okay, and everything, that is what you're going to be outraged about, is 0.016 of a prison population getting a transgender surgery, if that's really what's going on?
Well, if you are fueled by hate, you probably are going to be outraged by that. I mean, let's just be real. I mean, if hate is what motivates you, then you are going to be outraged by that.
But wouldn't you be more outraged that your insurance isn't going to cover the damage?
You would fucking think that would piss you off more than less than a fourth of the population getting free fucking surgeries. You would think, right?
You would think.
You would fucking think.
You know, and I wonder just if you go through that situation where your house is just suddenly washed away and stuff like that, I wonder if you just change your mind, like maybe climate change, that maybe there's something to that. Like it's 100 degrees here at the end of September here in Kingman. It's never this hot this time of year.
I know. I'm already usually sleeping with my windows open and no AC on, normally.
Yeah, I mean, I just
don't. You would think that your brain would at least be like you said, maybe there's a little something to this. Like, we're not asking you to dive right in, you know, but just maybe dip your toe in the pool.
Yeah,
and just be like, maybe they do have a point here. Just like from my own observations with my own two eyeballs.
Now, because I can't recall where flooding has been that severe, and the hurricane barely touched them. Where
it wiped away the whole street of businesses.
Right.
Like, you can see the picture before where there's businesses. Then the after pictures, there's nothing but flowing muddy water. And you can still see the trees on the side, but there's no more buildings. None.
Or in California, there's bigger fires every single year.
And more of them. Like, more of it's burning.
And there's no correlation at all.
Like, nothing in your brain is like, maybe there's something to this. Like, even a little tiny speck, just a little speck, maybe there's a little bit,
And that's not to diminish what these people are going through and everything else. And the other point of this is
we're on their side. We're kind of like, dude, there's a problem here.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, a lot of these areas have Republican governors and stuff like that who denounce socialism. Mm-hmm. Are they going to denounce the federal aid that's coming in to help them rebuild?
We can only hope that they won't. Didn't DeSantis turn some of it down? Like previous times?
That was COVID funding.
Okay, but still, turn down socialism help, right? Yeah. For your own people. Whether you believe things or not, why would you turn down help for your own people?
Well,
I mean, that's my thing. It's like, okay, even if you can go out there and get on your giant soapbox to make yourself look taller, and you can sit there and like scream how you hate socialism, but for yourself and everything, and you think it's terrible. But the people that need help, I think they would have still liked the help. But that's just me, Well,
I think he's going to accept the federal aid.
Hopefully.
But I just don't know if people will correlate that federal aid as a type of socialism.
No, they won't. They'll probably correlate it as like entitlement, which they don't see entitlement the same as like any kind of socialist program.
Yeah. And the other thing that, was going on this week, and I know you came up to something, but I wanted to play you something. You haven't heard this yet, but it gets to something that you talked to me about.
Oh, okay.
A theory that you had.
Okay.
Said that the First Amendment is a privilege, not a right. That the government has a duty to censor what she calls misinformation. That's not protected by the First. That's a very dangerous word, misinformation. First of all, the First Amendment protects all speech. It protects lies. It protects, it was passed not to protect convenient speech, but to protect the speech that nobody wants to hear. And when the government takes upon itself the right to decide what's true and what's not true, then you have a totalitarian system, because of course it's going to, and we saw this during COVID, where the government was really the biggest propagator of misinformation, of factually inaccurate information, that it then uses the control of information to manipulate the public.
Okay, so
it even protects voices that need a lozenge. Bad.
Yeah. Okay, so RFK Jr. there just said freedom of speech protects lies. Now that is true. Mm-hmm. But doesn't that mean that your government officials can lie to you blatantly, and that's okay?
And they're protected to do so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's what he's saying.
So you can say they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, and that's all right.
Yeah.
Because it's covered under freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Even though J.D. Vance came out and said, I will make up stories.
If it benefits me.
Yeah. To get my point across.
Right. Yeah. He's already said that. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
And so the theory you came up with was?
I think that they are still running on all this stuff, even the fact that they have admitted that they know these are lies. They're still running on it because they want to test their power. Like, that's where they're at right now. They want to test how much power they have over their minions. So if they go out there and continue to perpetuate these lies and repeat them and get people to believe them and get people angry because they're like, okay, the news might be telling you this, but I'm telling you that this is true and blah, blah, blah. and they're going out there and like ginning up the hate, and they want people to take action, so to speak, and do violent things towards people. Because here's the thing, they don't care if their minions get in trouble, and I don't believe that they even care that people are getting killed over their dangerous words. Their dangerous freedom of speech language, you know.
Right.
I mean, yes, because like RFK said, you know, this is freedom of speech. They have the right to say these lies, but the people who are saying these lies, they don't care if people get killed over it. They don't care, and they don't care if their minions get in trouble for killing people over it.
They probably believe it'd be okay to yell fire at the movie theater.
Right. They want to see, they're doing this specifically to see how much power they have over these people. Like, what will these people not do for us? You know, it's kind of like we want to see how much they listen to us. Like, what are the lengths they will go to for us? How loyal are they? You know, they're kind of like no better than mobsters. You know, remember when like the mob was like, we need to see your, or gangsters, we need to see what your loyalty is here. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's exactly what they're doing.
And they're already setting it up. Like Mike Johnson said, yeah, we'll accept that the results of the election if it's fair.
If they win.
Yeah, if they win.
They'll accept that it's fair, a fair and free election, but only if they win.
Right. Now, here's the point that goes back to, say, Biden did steal the last election. His feeble mind manipulated it, so he stole the election.
How do you not even know where you are in a moment of time, but you are such the mastermind that you were able to rig and steal the election?
Yeah. And
how are you that brilliant yet so feeble and idiotic?
But the people who, like the Mike Johnsons and the Matt Gaetz and such, that Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, they all believe that they all say that, well, the election was stolen. Then why don't you contest the results of your own election then? Because wasn't your name on that exact same ballot?
I know, and it's like, how did you win, but Trump lost? You know, how did Biden win in your state, but you also won in your state if it was rigged? I don't understand that.
So it's rigged. And if the Democrats...
I don't get it.
If the Democrats were to rig it, don't you think they're smart enough to take the House, the Senate, and the presidency?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they rigged Georgia and had Joe Biden win Georgia, how did they not defeat Marjorie Taylor Greene then? How did she not lose her seat?
Right, because you would want to get
to replace her with the Marcus Flowers, right? Wasn't that who ran against her?
You'd want to get the House, want to win the House. You'd want to win the Senate by 60 seats, so you could do away with a filibuster.
Right.
And then you could stack the Supreme Court.
How did they not rig out all of that? I don't understand that.
But it was only the presidency. Now, it's been about 4 years. Now, on my ballot didn't have the president on it.
No.
There were several other people.
Yeah, there's other folks
people to vote
running.
For. Yeah.
Like, there's senators on there. There's representatives on there.
Although in 2016, well, no, they won that one. But I did vote for Hillary, and I did vote for McCain on that one.
Okay. I didn't. So,
but I wanted McCain to win because I knew that one vote on overturning Obamacare. I foresaw that, and that's why I voted for McCain.
Okay. I didn't. I mean, I quit voting for John. I voted for John McCain when I first started voting, but I quit voting for him long ago.
The point being is saying the election is stolen by accepting your seat is hypocritical.
It's like, where's the logic? But then you have to go back. Remember how I told you what Malcolm Nance said? Their brains defy logic. I mean, that's really the only explanation. It's like, What else do you say? Like there's no like real thought process there.
Yeah. Well, I know you went out undercover over the weekend.
I did.
Because you wanted to see what the voting demographic is in Kingman. So, what a better place to go is the rodeo.
That wasn't the main reason I went. I actually went to. I wanted to support people that I worked with. You know, they were going in and doing this contest. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to go there and I'm going to be in support. I realize I'm going to have to put myself into an element and an environment that isn't necessary. It's completely opposite of myself, you know. I've never gone to the rodeo in all the 22 years that I've lived here in Kingman. So I was like, you know what? Maybe you should support local things, you know. Test yourself, you know, like, yeah, maybe this will be a good test for you. And I will say, I had a very good time. And my work team won. They were the champions. They got first place. They all got belt buckles and they got money too. There was money on the line. They got to split $500 between 4 of them. So it's really cool, you know? And I was like, way to go, guys. You brought it. But yeah, like, so I'm there and, the announcers, this had nothing to do with my group of friends, but like the people who run the rodeo, the announcers, they made it very political, not giving a shit if there might be people there from other political backgrounds. They don't really care, which is fine, whatever. But, I mean, I fully expected that. I fully expected to see people decked out in their Trump gear, which they were. There were a lot of folks there wearing Trump shirts and stuff. The thing that struck me was, so the announcers would do like jokey joke time, you know, they'd tell jokes like between setting up for the new like barrel racing or whatever was coming next, the bull riding or the horse, like trying to, the 7 seconds thing or whatever, you know, the thing from that Luke Perry movie. All right, so in between there, they do like entertainment and they were telling like jokes. And every time they told jokes, they were political jokes. And it was the weirdest thing, but I did not get offended at all. Like, I actually felt sorry for them. Like, my family has this saying where if something is like so special or whatever, or, you know, like you're just like, you have no words and you would feel bad for verbally beating up on somebody. You're like, oh, he's to be pitied. She's to be pitied. I knew exactly what they were talking about. Like, the jokes were so bad that even their audience of people with those views, there was not rip-roaring laughter. You heard a little bit of laughter through there, but the jokes were so bad, it's like, it actually made me think of Donald Trump, honestly. Like, the jokes were like, I'm like, if I made fun of this right now, this is like, I don't make fun of mentally handicapped people. That's Trump's job. He does that. He makes fun of them. Like, the jokes were that bad, it would be on the level of making fun of someone like that. Like, you don't do that. You don't do that. Or they're like the jokes of like a 4th grade level. Like, you don't. Why would a full-grown adult go and attack and make fun of something like that? You don't do that.
Like if a 2nd grader came up to you and told you a bad knock-knock joke, you would be like, "That's horrible."
You don't make fun of something like that. You don't. You kind of just like, you learn to just like, it's. I'm glad I went because it's like, now that I know their mentality, like from listening to it, because it's always like, you know, maybe you should expose yourself to things to really understand things. I don't feel the need to pick a fight because I'm like, whatever I say, they're not gonna understand it. Like it's unfair.
It's the whole thing.
It's unfair.
It's the whole thing. Like why did the president win, but your Congress seat? How come?
Yeah,
that
you
wasn't
just
stolen?
there's no point. Like it's like, you know what? Let them have their fun. Let them think that they're telling funny jokes. The one thing I did find really funny though, and I'll say this really quick too, is they did a couple of entertainment pieces during the middle, and of course they told some they made transgender statements the way they feel about transgender. They're like, we are in Kingman, Arizona, where we believe that women are women and men are men. That's right. We only believe in two sexes here. Blah, blah, blah. You know, we're against that.
Why a rodeo?
So, I don't know. I don't know. And then fast forward to entertainment they had this old beater come out that was spray painted pink that had a huge Barbie sticker on the side. The person gets out of the car. I don't know what this person would like to be referred to as, because it was clearly a man dressed as Barbie at the rodeo, at the place where they're complaining about
It's only
gender.
2 sexes.
Yeah, and only two sexes, but yet they're having a guy play the role of Barbie.
So basically, they were having a drag show.
Yeah,
at the rodeo in front of children.
Yeah, they were having a drag show, and
in front of children.
Yeah, and she was like dancing all sexy, like too, and I was like, I thought you guys were like uncomfortable with exposing children to this. Like, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me right now. You know what I mean? It's like, I didn't understand it. So again, it was another thing where I just kept my mouth shut, and I did the whole Kamala thing where she puts her hand under her chin and goes, and just, it was one of those moments for me.
Speaking of that, how great was Maya
Rudolph?
It's Kamala on this season 50 of Saturday Night Live last night.
Does she not have even like the dialect good? Like, I mean, it's like the facial expression she does so, and the speech and everything. She's just amazing.
And that goes to prove our point is we can take a joke because that
Dana
Carvey as Biden was spot on.
And when he was sniffing her hair, but okay, we're people on the left. We were laughing our asses off on that. Like, it was funny. You know?
And Jim Gaffigan as Tim Walz.
I almost peed my pants when he came out. I almost peed my fucking pants. I was like, oh, snap. So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, so, hey, we can take a joke and shit. But
I could have taken, I was ready to laugh because you could tell that they were doing jokes. Like, you can tell when somebody's telling a joke, right? I was ready to laugh, but like I said, I was like, this just isn't funny. I'm like, tell me a good joke and I'll be down to laugh.
Did you literally hear crickets?
Yes. You could hear the crickets in the background because the audience wasn't even laughing that loud.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess this is, we in the upcoming weeks we'll be promoting another author coming on, and
yay!
They wrote a book called Weird Kingman, and I guess it'll explain everything.
And so we're getting copies sent to us so we can read it before?
I need to pick up copies maybe tomorrow.
Okay, good.
After you.
I know. I love when we get to do these things, though, where we get challenged. Like, remember when I read, her name escapes me, but
Kelly?
my husband is not a rainbow?
Yeah, Kelly's.
Kelly, yes, Kelly. And I was like, I am going to read, and her book is like
it's
a
big.
Bible.
Yeah.
Whoa, it was like 600 pages, right?
I only
Over
got
600. You didn't do it. I did it.
I got halfway through it.
I got it, though. I did the whole thing. I was like, no, she's coming on our show. I have to read the whole thing. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited to get a challenge and read again.
I hope this one isn't that big, though. No offense, Kelly.
No, me too, because it was very hard to do. Like, I was like, literally like, oh my God, I have to get this done. But like, and I'm really excited about the topic of this one too, Weird Kingman. Yeah. I'm like, yay, let's read some weird stuff.
Yeah, right before Halloween.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to keep this short because we did 2 episodes last week. We're still exhausted from that.
We're tuckered out.
But we promise to give you more material up until the election.
Woohoo!
And maybe some different material.
We're getting into
that.
the 30 days.
Yeah.
Because I think on Friday it was 39 days, so it's even less now.
Right, and we're only about 10 days away from getting our mail-in ballots.
Yay! I can't wait!
Yeah.
I just want to get it over with. I just want to get it over with and get on with life.
I think we can all agree on that, no matter
Yes.
what side you're on.
Let's move on.
Let's just get this over with.
Let's enjoy the holidays together.
Yeah.
You know, let's get
Yes.
through everything.
And we promise that no matter what the results of the election are, we will say happy holidays and we will say Merry Christmas. We
Yes.
will promise you that. We
I
will
say
do this
Merry
on purpose.
Christmas all the time.
Yeah.
Or I say happy. You know what? I'm a lazy
Oh,
person.
shit.
I like saying happy holidays because it covers all of them. That's the
Yeah.
only reason why I like saying that one better. You don't have to say them each individually.
You know what I just realized?
What?
We're going to get through the election, and then there's going to be a few days before we know the results. And then we're going to go right into the war on Christmas.
It's war after war after. When are we going to end these endless wars?
I don't know. Guess when there's peace in the Middle East.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. And on that note, we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Bye, y'all.